You know, some people age like a fine wine, and some people age like a can of special brew left on a hot windowsill. Whichever one you are, get ready to talk about those pesky little emotions of yours, because it's time for another episode of I've Had a Rosé, Let's Talk About Feelings. Please welcome your host, Sam Lake. It was me the whole time. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of I've Had a Rosé, Let's Talk About Feelings, the show where me and a wonderful guest enjoy a beverage of their choice and talk about something they're passionate about and find out how it all connects to their feelings. Before we introduce today's guest, let me take a moment to thank our wonderful Rosé Sluts. That's the name of our patrons who have signed up to support the pod on Patreon. If you would like to become an official Rosé Slut, then please do sign up below. You can sign up for as little as £3 a month and you get access to lots of bonus content, including After Hours, our bonus series, and the original series of I've Had a Rosé recorded during lockdown, where everyone was absolutely fucking mental. Now, without further ado, let's welcome today's guest. It's Grace Mulvey. Hello, Grace.
Hello. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Oh, you look excited as well. And can I just say, this is maybe the fourth or fifth remote record that we've done, and I've never heard you and our editor say before, oh, she's got a lovely mic.
Oh, I'm so proud. Listen, I do have 2 podcasts myself.
Right,
and
she's in the biz.
I'm in the biz, but also I started my first one, Fad Camp, during lockdown as well. So
It was
I
the
had
time
to do
to do
totally
it.
remotely.
Yeah.
I just want to say also, my voice might sound a bit husky. I'm after coming back from a 3-day wedding in Ireland where I was basically a bottle of rosé for 3 days. So bear with me.
So she's uncorked, the tannins have gone.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, lovely. Yeah, it's the time to do a podcast, I feel, when the world is ending.
Oh, do
Yeah.
you know what? The pandemic made me turn to Joe Wicks, the body coach, and start a podcast. Of course, that's what you do.
I
When
was
there's basically-
doing his bloody PE class every day.
That man had
Yeah.
a chokehold on the pandemic.
Yes.
A career was made. Like, I'd love to know how much money he made, because we all every day were doing his classes. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he was on the honours list, I think. I think he's quite close to becoming Sir, whatever the name of his
Sir
YouTube
Joe
channel
Wicks.
was. Sir Joe Wicks. Yeah.
It doesn't sound right to be like Sir Lean in 15. You know what I mean? It doesn't have the panache. You know what I mean?
No, but Dame Lean and Mean.
Listen,
that would be
actually, I'd love that. And that has to be a drag name out there somewhere.
absolutely.
You know?
That has to be. So aside from having a lovely mic, how are you in general? Are you doing well?
I am doing well. I mean, like, it feels like the world's burning again. But listen, you got to live, laugh, live, live. And I mean, listen, today I'm having a bit of an existential crisis because I am, again, as I mentioned, coming down off a 3-day rosé wedding.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There was limoncello spritzes involved. So, you know, when you sort of are like coming back, I know it's insane. You're coming back from like baring your soul, having loads of deep, meaningful chats with people you've barely met at a wedding. Do you know what I mean? And you come back and you go, maybe I was a bit much. And you're having a day like that. So it's a bit of an existential crisis day. So I'm actually delighted to be chatting to you. Just to sort of get out of my own head. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad we're providing a service and we're not even charging by the hour.
Thanks.
I think it sounds like you have whatever the rosé equivalent of beer fee is.
Rosé, I'm trying to think. What would it
Rosé.
be?
Whoa. We'll add that to the list of terrible puns that I've made on this podcast. Chalk it
has
up
to
with
be your-
Tabitha contents.
That has to be your new merch line. Rosé, whoa.
Whoa, eh? It's either that or limoncello, oh no, which I think I'm glad with what I said the first time.
That's great. Yeah, no, stick with the first one. Yeah,
I'll stick with the first one. Do you know what then? Now hearing you say all of this, your choice of beverage for today's episode sort of makes a lot of sense, because I feel like it's very restorative and it's a good old cup of tea, but you sort of made a point of specifically talking about the tea making process. Are you quite particular about how you brew your tea?
Oh, so listen, I know the English think, well, I know you're like, it's just Britishness, it's all about tea, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Irish people feel like we own tea. Like, as in, like, we have our, like, there's a whole debate in Ireland of Barry's tea versus Lyon's tea.
Okay.
and I'm a Barry's tea girl, okay? Now, that's step one. But step two is I just have a real issue with the fact that people put your, like if someone offers to make you a cup of tea, they'll put the milk in.
Absolutely
And I'm
not.
like, no, absolutely not.
Unacceptable.
Bring the milk separately. Like, I think it's psychotic. I'm like, bring the milk separately with the tea and let the person put it in themselves. Second to that, like after that as well, I wouldn't take the tea bag out. So I would arrive, if I was making someone a cup of tea,
Yeah.
I would arrive with the cup of tea brewing, tea bag in, milk on the side, and a little spare plate so that they can take the tea bag out themselves, because I don't want to presume how strong you like it.
Do you know what? Producer Claire is sat off camera right now, and she prepared all of the stuff for me to make a cup of tea right now. And you've basically just described everything that's in front of me. So she looks very pleased with herself.
Claire, fair play to you. I know what, I'm clapping here from you. I'm clapping here. Though I do want to ask if Claire did this, because I was having this debate when I was talking about coming on the podcast. I was having this debate with my family, and we were all talking about, because my mum's from Roscommon, it's a big deal, the whole tea thing, right?
Right.
And then my sister-in-law goes, you know what people aren't doing these days though? They don't even offer sugar. They don't even bring sugar. Did Claire bring sugar?
Her face is lit up. She literally, before I even got to the studio, Grace, she texted me to say, do you have sugar in your tea? Do you take milk? Yeah.
Amazing, Claire. Amazing. I'm going to tell my mum. My mum will want to meet you.
She's just done like what I can only describe as sort of like a celebratory turn to the side and a cross of the leg. You know, when you've made a really good point and you're like, and you want to feel a bit puss. Yeah.
It's because, do you know what, people like these days, like people don't, it's like people don't even, I don't even have sugar in my house, which is mad. But like, it's like people don't take sugar anymore or even offer it. And I'm like, no, it's part of the tea making process. You bring sugar as an offer.
Every kitchen that I was in as a child, that sounds odd. I didn't just sort of tour people's kitchens. Well, if you're around a friend's house and you're in their kitchen, it would be the three little pots that would say tea, coffee, sugar. Sugar would always be there. And yeah, then there was a long phase of my life where nobody had sugar anymore. At best, the little artificial sweetness,
the
squeegee
sweeteners
thing.
Yeah. Canderel. Do millennials buy bags of sugar?
I think they do, but not for tea. I think
not for tea, for baking.
For baking, yes. And then, I mean, I'm not going to be putting icing sugar in my tea.
No, I'm not putting like, what's a Democrat tea or castor?
Demerara, golden castor sugar. No, I'm not going to be doing that, am I?
What's funny is millennials, we have like Himalayan salt, but we won't have normal sugar. Do you know what I mean? Like something happened.
Millennials are the salty generation.
We're the salty generation, and we were turned off sugar. There was some sort of sugar propaganda, and we all took sugar out of our drinks. And yet, I will say, I won't put sugar in my drink, yet I'll like drink a gallon of Pepsi Max, which I don't even know what's in that. You know what I mean?
But it's not sugar, so that's what's important.
Not sugar.
It's not sugar. Well, do you want to talk me through? So I'll talk you through what I've got. I have a mug ready to go. The bag is in there, dry. Okay.
Perfect.
I have a little pint of milk.
Oh, and Claire's killing it. Yeah.
She's killing it. I have a little bowl so that I can put the tea bag to the side if I want. But I do think I would leave the tea bag in.
Good.
Dealer's choice. And then I have so much boiled water. It's actually bigger than my head.
I love that Claire was like, just in case the man wants to waterboard himself with tea. She's provided the biggest barrel of water.
I don't know what you're going to ask me to do here, Grace. Maybe you're going to say, yeah, make yourself a lovely cup of tea, and then once the water's cooled, why don't you just pour that all over your big jugs, you little slut?
Let's just really change this podcast into something completely creepy. And let's make it a water competition. No, what you do is you've got the tea bag, you put in the hot water. Now, I'm usually, I don't know about you, but I take my tea black.
Interesting. Right? Okay.
But obviously I don't judge others who need to water down the purity of tea with milk. But
that didn't sound judgy at all. No.
No. Like, I don't judge you. I was brought up with a backbone. Anyway, you just leave You leave it as much as you need to stew.
Okay.
And then you keep it in, obviously, and then you put in your milk. And like, the thing is, it's not that I like have a big process of the tea making. It's just I have a problem that other people will be like, oh, do you want milk in your tea? And then they put it in for you. And I'm like, no.
Whack
or they
it
take
in.
your tea bag out and they don't know how strong you like it.
That's
I
such a good point.
Provide everything and let the
how-
person do it.
Do you wait until you've brewed the tea as much as you see fit and then you'd put the milk in?
Oh, well, I don't put milk in.
Oh,
But, like,
of course. So
I
you
just
would
keep it
just
black,
have it.
but, like,
So once the tea bag's in there, that's you ready.
that's me ready. And I'm going to tell you as well, like, now listen, I can't eat the ends because I basically am like, drink the ends because it's like chewing a tea bag because it's just the tea bag. But yeah, I keep it just the black tea. Like, listen, I'm going
Okay.
to tell you right now, it's not great for the colour of your teeth. The other day, my niece...
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
But
the other day,
nothing is
nothing
good for
is.
your teeth. Nothing.
The other day, my niece asked me why my teeth were dirty.
Just apropos of nothing, just why are your teeth dirty?
And I was like, do you know what, kid? Time for bed. Time for bed.
At 3:00 in the afternoon. It's time for bed.
May I ask you what your tea brand is? If that's not too personal of a question.
You can ask. Claire, what is the tea brand? Sainsbury's own.
Oh, no. Okay.
Grace has left the call.
Listen, Claire, like no one gets everything perfect, but you were so close.
Nearly nailed it.
Nearly nailed it.
That's it. It's the studio's tea. Claire, that wasn't a personal choice made by Claire.
But it's
The damage has
still-
been done. I can
the
tell.
damage has been
That's
done.
absolutely fine. Should we have a little sip together? Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Enjoy your tea.
Oh, this tea is bringing me back to life today, okay? It's bringing me back to life.
Well, that's what I mean. It's a very restorative drink. And I'm someone who normally would drink coffee to get the day going.
Yeah.
But when I feel like I need a bit of healing, maybe spiritual healing, I would have a tea. And I got to ask, this is like, your traditional tea. Do you ever dabble in the herbals?
No interest. No
Really?
interest.
No interest whatsoever?
No interest whatsoever. I'm, again, a coffee drinker, a tea drinker.
Yeah.
I've no time for this. Someone once gave me Robius tea or something, and I was like,
Yes.
The thing about herbal teas is I consider them a bit of a tease because they give off a colour of a very strong flavour and then it's just nothing.
Right.
And
I do
you
see
know what I
that,
mean?
yes.
Yeah. But love an actual tea. Other thing I was going to bring up that I completely forgot. The
Mm-hmm.
mug is a big part of this process. Okay. So
Yes.
that mug you have is great. The mug I have, this is my tea mug.
Okay.
You need a big mug for tea. I had taken a much smaller coffee cup for coffee.
Yes.
When people bring me tea in a coffee cup, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because tea is like a hug. It's a hug. And it has to be in a big warm mug.
Okay,
And-
so is
yeah.
the thing that distinguishes a tea mug versus a coffee mug the size?
Oh, are you joking? Do you not know this? Oh my God, yeah.
Is this a thing? Am I? Oh, I learned
No, you
so
see,
much
here's the
about
thing.
myself, and it's all bad.
No, okay, here's the thing. Maybe I'm also just making this up myself. It's just a personal choice. Like, here's me being like, are you joking? And then I was like, actually, I think that's just something you decided, Grace. In my
no,
mind, right?
Yeah,
like,
go on.
Tea has to be in a big mug because to me, tea is like a warm hug. So I
Yes.
like a big mug of it. I don't mind the ends going cold because I'm not going to drink them. But
Right.
with coffee, I like just short coffee cups. So it's to
Mm-hmm.
me, the mug is a big deal.
See, the thing is with me, with most hot beverages, I like it milky. I like a milky brew, and I also enjoy a milky coffee, a latte, whatever. So, as I tend to just, there's one mug in my house which is actually just a bowl. It's the size of a bowl, and it happens to have a handle on it.
Yeah.
That is, if I was making a tea, I would put it in that one specifically because it's big enough that I could make a big enough thing of tea to last like half the day. So that was Yeah,
perfect.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's so weird that this woman has come up twice on this podcast back to back. I had a music teacher who told everybody it's so important to drink tea from a very big mug, because then when you ask someone in the office if they're doing like the teas and coffees that morning, they'll make you an absolutely massive thing of tea, and then you don't have to worry about going back in between breaks or anything. You've always got tea.
Okay, this woman sounds like a genius. Can I ask, in what other context were you talking about her in the last podcast?
The injunction has not lifted, so I cut. No, she forced me to join the school orchestra because I played the clarinet.
This
and I
woman
didn't want to join.
She sounds like she was a big part of your life, because that's two things. You know what I mean? Like the mug thing, though, I'm like, that's absolute genius.
Absolutely
like,
valid.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the clarinet thing, I mean, hey, we've all got ghosts in our past.
I'm glad that you're brave to talk about it. You're very brave.
I'm here to share my story. I am who I am. Jean, so now that we're having a sip of tea, I feel like you've already sort of said how it makes you feel, because I feel like the general vibe is restorative. It's good for you.
Yeah.
It's to bring you back to life.
Yeah, and I think it's just like, because for me, I love coffee as well. Like I'm such a coffee drinker, and I'll have like 3 or 4 coffees a day. It's a real problem. But to me, tea is an evening beverage, and it's the real kind of like winding down. And yeah, even like say if I was having chocolate, like I'd have it with tea. For some reason, I'd never think to have it with like coffee. Coffee is the real kind of on the go. You know what I mean?
Digestive with tea, a custard cream, a dunking. A dunking with coffee is not the same. A dunking with tea is
just, it's beautiful. Yeah. And it's just like goes with everything. Like I had tea with cake and everything like that. To me, it's real comfort, and it's real winter as well. Like I'd be drinking so much tea in winter.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I think it's just like, it's as well for me, I live in London now. Like I've been in London for 3 years. So I bring like tea from Ireland.
You bring the good stuff back with you.
I bring
of
the good
course you
stuff. It's just because it's so much more expensive here. But like, yeah, I bring like bags of it back. And it's just like a big deal.
I think
You know what
that's
I mean?
such a normal thing to do, though. And also, I did it recently. I was in Spain, and they have a drink in Spain that you can't get over here. It's called Aquarius, and it tastes like lemony, and it's like very nice. And anytime I drink it, I'd be like, I feel so energized and hydrated and just ready to face the day. And it turns out it is a drink that doctors do give to people if they have like extreme diarrhea or something. So it's to replace all the liquids in their body. But I don't think anyone in this country was aware of that. And they just go like, have you ever had a can of Aquarius? It's good, isn't it? And none of us were wondering why we don't have the shits anymore.
I love that you just be like running around the place. Just, it's like you're doing like liquid cocaine, and you're like, I don't know why this is just amazing.
If they made cocaine easier to take, I'd be doing it all the time. I will ask though, because you say you take your tea black. Because like a black tea is that is like a family of teas, no? Because there are other teas that would be considered black teas that aren't like, you know, a traditional breakfast tea. But are you always, for this specific cup of tea, you're always that brand, that type of tea, we never stray?
We never stray. I mean, listen, obviously if I'm in someone else's home, I don't be like, I'm not drinking that dirt you have there. But like, you know, I will accept, obviously, like I'm in England, so, you know, when I'm around mates, they tend to have Yorkshire tea or something like that. I'll drink this, but again, I won't have milk. I just never, to me, milk, I just get such a taste off milk. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I just think it has such a specific taste. And I don't mind it sometimes. If I'm getting like a cappuccino, that's really nice. But even then, my coffee for the most part is black.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And I just get and as well, it's because I was in a friend's house one time, and it was her mum who, you know, came in and very nicely was like, will I get you all teas? And I was like, oh, fantastic. And it came and it had a ton of milk in it. And I didn't say anything because, of course, you're not going to say anything to someone's mom. But inside, I was fuming. And I was like, I can't believe that people. And I had to sip this because you don't want to be insulting. But to me, I'm like, oh, you might as well just give me a glass of milk. That's all I can taste. Do you know
That's
what I mean?
been near a tea bag.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
the same counter.
It sort of flirted with the tea bag, but didn't do anything else with it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
just like second base, just a little bit of tongue. But there are memes that go around of the colours of different brews of teas, like one just being pure white and then one that's with no milk in whatsoever. And they're numbered, and then people have to comment like, "How do you take your tea?"
Yeah.
And then because it's on Facebook, it gets very like
Oh, yeah, of
Brexit
course.
means Brexit kind of thing in the comments at some point.
Tea becomes very political very fast, doesn't it?
It really does.
It
The number of
really
people that go
does.
over to Spain who'd be like, I can't get you fucking good cup of tea.
Oh,
What the
yeah,
fuck are you
yeah.
drinking over here? They're drinking Aquarius. That's why they're so regular.
And that's why they all look so happy.
People look so
You know?
happy. There's water in their body.
Yeah, they're regulator.
They're regulated. They really are. Well, it's going down a treat, I must say, even
you're
though it's
welcome.
Sainsbury's own. So I'm very glad you suggested it. Shall we move on to your chosen topic? And I'm really glad that little gesture you did there. I'm really glad that's an indicator that you're ready to talk about this because I have no prior knowledge of this topic. But it's not the first time on this show, so I'm ready to learn. Your topic is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yes.
Now, is it the book and the film together, or one or the other?
Both. I know a lot about this. Okay, so The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is like, to me, it's a trilogy. Like, I read the first 3 books as a trilogy, but I read them like maybe once a year. So like
Sure,
it's kind of like an annual thing I do, and I just keep coming back to it. But do you know anything, like, say if you, even now, like, do you know anything about it, like imagery or associated with anything?
I think there might be a girl in it who maybe has some kind of tattoo that's like shaped in any particular way. Are you telling me she doesn't even have a fucking dragon tattoo?
Imagine she didn't. Imagine it was like, it's an iguana. No,
The girl with the Komodo dragon. Lovely.
Yeah. They just mistranslated it.
No, I from what I recall, I remember when it got turned into a movie. Is that? But did they make a version of? Did they make a version of it as a film, and then they made it as another film that's exactly the same story, but with English actors?
Yeah, so it's set in Sweden. I'll start there.
Yes.
It's set in Sweden.
Yes.
So they have 3 Swedish films like based off the 3 books, and then the American version came out, but they only ever did the first book of the American version.
And that one had Daniel Craig?
Daniel Craig, Rooney Mara.
Yes.
Robin Wright was in it, like, and then that really famous Swedish actor who's like Papa Scarsdale.
Not Alexander Skarsgård.
No,
his
the
dad.
Papa, the dad. Yeah. Papa of all the Scars.
Pappy Scars.
Pappy Scars. Like Papa Smurf.
Right.
And so, but the book, like, originally came out in 2005. English was translated into English in like 2008 and was like a sensation. But it's essentially about, it's a murder mystery set in Sweden, but it's like covers massive themes about like Nazism, feminism, and the original title in Swedish is called Men Who Hate Women, which was then changed in the English version to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Oh, because
So
if
it's
you
all
called,
about...
if you called something Men Who Hate Women, men wouldn't read that book because they hate women.
But I'm sure this is it, or they might think it's a self-help book, but to really get them to hate women. But I'd be like, hey, they don't need any help. They're good at it.
Women as much as the next guy, but I always think I could be doing more.
But the whole book is like, there's one of the biggest characters, and she's become like now one of the best characters in my opinion, in literature, like one of the most famous, is Lisbeth Salander. And she's this sort of like young woman in her 20s who, again, is the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Yes.
She has piercings all over. She's quite a mysterious character. And some speculate that she might have some sort of autism, but that isn't really described in the book. In the book, she's just extremely antisocial and quite like aggressive. But that's not, it's just she's been through a lot in her life. And I don't want to say that that's what autism is. It's just that, like, you know what I mean?
It's just that everything that you're saying, I've got producer Claire just looking at me, just going like,
Claire's like, that's me. And you know what? Lisbeth also loved tea from Sainsbury's.
Sainsbury's, the most popular supermarket in Sweden?
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just about this character and Daniel Craig's character in the film, Michael Bloomfest, who's a journalist, kind of combating a murder mystery, which is a really great murder mystery, but also violence against women, fascism.
Yeah.
And
hot topics.
And they do it in this amazing kind of like Swedish setting. But the reason I find not only that the book is so brilliant is just that the writer himself, Stieg Larsson, was an investigative journalist for most of his life, and much like the character Michael Bloomfist in the book,
Right.
he ran a magazine, and his magazine was extremely anti-racist, anti-fascist, anti-misogynist. And this guy essentially lived under threat with his partner for nearly his whole life. Like, neo-Nazis were sent him death threats and all this sort of stuff. Like, okay, this guy was kind of like turning 50, and he was like, you know what? I'm kind of sick of living in fear, and I'm going to write some fiction. And so he wrote these books.
Yes.
He handed in 3 manuscripts, and then 3 weeks later, he died of a heart attack.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then, so this is where like all the stuff comes in. This book becomes a sensation. Like, you know, he's a writer, but he didn't have much he didn't have much money. He was an investigative journalist for most of his life.
Yeah.
And then like this book becomes a sensation. Like millions and millions. It outsells like, who's the guy who wrote the Da Vinci Code? Dan Brown. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? All these big writers, Twilight and stuff. And he had no will because he had never had any money.
Right.
And then his partner, who was his partner for 30 years, the reason they never got married was because in Sweden, if you get married, you need to publish your address. And they didn't want their address known because he was constantly under threat. And so she got nothing. And she, by the way, helped him write the books.
Yeah.
Because she herself is a writer and a feminist and
Right.
would help him with the themes. And so
Is
then
she credited in any way?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Like he was like, you know, she like definitely, but you know, she herself was like, my ideas are in the story. Like basically everything that's in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and the trilogy
Yeah.
happened at some point in Sweden.
Right.
So like the whole point is that this guy was such a kind of feminist and had such a outlook on violence in society. He didn't make up anything that it hadn't happened at some point in Sweden.
I see.
And so
Okay.
she herself would help him with that context.
Yeah.
He wrote it like. So yeah, and then anyway, the books everything went to his kind of, it's debated, but kind of estranged brother and dad. Like basically like he wasn't that close to them.
Yeah.
They immediately got everything. But his partner held on to the manuscript of the 4th book. He had planned to write 10 books and
Yeah.
she refused to give them up. So
Wow.
this is like, sorry, I feel like I'm like pitching the backstory. So
It feels like, I know this isn't the plot of the book, but that sounds like it should be a book in itself.
it should be. But the reason I kind of bring that up as the kind of thing behind it is because the book itself is so good. Like, I don't want to give too much away because like it basically is about like a very wealthy family where a girl disappeared in that family like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And this Michael Bloomfist guy, they hire because he's really down on his luck in his career and he's an investigative journalist.
Right.
And he has to go to this isolated island and find out about a murder that happened 30 years ago and he doesn't know how to do it. And it is then Lisbeth Salander who he kind of connects with. She's a hacker as well as everything
we
else in her
love a
life.
hacker.
We love a hacker. And she has a really mysterious history. And she herself is a ward of the state because she is considered mentally incompetent, even though she's not. She's very smart. It's just that she's socially
Got
like,
it. Okay,
closed
yes.
off. So it's all about this relationship between these two people who are trying to figure out a murder mystery while also in real time are being attacked and they don't know by who.
Right.
So it's all, I don't want to get like it's hard to give away so
No,
much
but
of the
I
plot.
guess what you're saying is like it's like a dramatized version of the lives of the people. Like you say, it's all based on stuff that actually happened in Sweden, and this man really had the same background as the character in the book.
Yeah, and I think as well, like the stuff he's talking about, because this was like if you think about it, it's published in 2005. He was talking about the fact that fascism had not gone away.
Right.
He kept talking about how he was like, you know what, there's a lot of people who really supported Nazis who are still alive in Sweden, who pretend that they didn't. And he talked about racism, he talked about sexism being a huge problem. And I feel like today we're seeing what he was kind of talking about in 2005 actually happen in real time, where we're like, oh, fascism is back. And he was talking about it in like 2005 and going, hey, these people are still here. They're getting organized. And I think we need to be worried about this. And I find that what I love about the books is they're really entertaining and a really good read.
Yeah.
But this guy is able to get across his political beliefs
Yes.
in an entertaining way, which is what comedy is, I always think. You're just
Yeah.
trying to get across your point of view and make people entertained. And I love that the books managed to do that. Like,
And that's interesting that that like now what you're seeing in the headlines today is what he was talking about. Do you think that's why you have a reread of the trilogy every year, because you're like, oh, hang on, he made some really good points about something that I might have just seen for myself, and maybe I've thought the same thing. Maybe that came from somewhere in the book.
yeah, I think so. And I think definitely that. And I think there's something about the way he portrays women in the book. I remember reading it for the first time. I'd never seen women like that. First of all, the journalist in it's a bit of Lothario. That man is sleeping around. And but what's funny is that he sleeps with women, and the women are always initiating it, and the women are very much in charge of it.
Right. Okay.
So, as in, like, he has this long-standing affair with his best friend, who's the editor of his magazine. She's married, and her husband knows about it. Like, they just have an open relationship, the husband. And to me, I was like, God, that's really interesting, because, like, that was 2005, and I didn't know much about open relationships in 2000. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
now it's kind of, hopefully people are becoming more okay with it, but like the women characters in it are very much in charge of their own sexuality. And his point in the book is like, why isn't this more okay?
Yeah.
Like he has internal monologues for a lot of men in the book who hate women.
Right.
And their thought process is terrifying to read. But I think is quite accurate when I see online trolling.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh yeah, like, that's kind of what I read.
It doesn't come from
sections.
nowhere. People
Yeah.
really do think that stuff. And it's interesting that you say that his depictions of women are unlike, because there is a trope, isn't there, of male fiction writers trying to write a
Oh,
believable
yeah.
female character. And they'll
Yeah.
say stuff like, Persephone walked into the room, giant, huge tits first.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff. And it's like, what have you ever met a single woman that you could not describe
Yeah.
by going breasts first? It is interesting though, because for a book that you say talks a lot about like violence against women and a lot of the internal monologues of men, it's interesting that it's come from the perspective of a male writer.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like that would maybe today elicit a lot more commentary if he were still with us, about like how valid is his viewpoint on this when he himself is a man.
Yeah, and I think like what's funny is that, like, you know, I wouldn't make a hero. Like, I admire him, and I admire
Yeah.
anyone who goes out in the limb, because I feel like I'm too of a scaredy cat to ever do that for my beliefs, like in that way. But I wouldn't make it. I'm sure like the guy had loads of flaws. Like, anyone is easy to admire when they've passed, really. But like, I think
Sure.
about him, his partner has talked about him and said like he was a feminist, and the reason he was a feminist, he was kind of brought up by his granny and granddad, who lived in quite an isolated area of Sweden where kind of the women were just equal to the men. And so he was brought up like that. And then when he kind of came back to the cities, he was like, why is it different here? And then there was, and this is like debated, but he talked about the time that he, when he was 15, did witness, and I have to say this is just quite a dark topic, so just to say I'm going to be talking about a rape here, if anyone doesn't want to listen to it. But that he witnessed the rape of a 15-year-old girl by it was like a gang of boys, and he was a teenager, he didn't do anything to stop it, and he said that it haunted him from then on, and he was always like, I'm going to do something about this, like I'm going to report on this. And you know, so I get what you mean, because listen, I'm the, you know, it's always like it is always great, obviously, to read women writers. A lot of women writers will talk about this stuff. I think I think the reason the books did so well was, first of all, that it was just like a really entertaining story he put these ideas into, and that's what I always go back to, is like, I think actually, because we read this stuff all the time in the news, like it's not new ideas. But actually, if you can put something in a really entertaining and gripping story with characters that, and Elizabeth Salander is a really unusual character. She's a character that is not written to be liked, but you do end up loving her, because you're just like, she's a difficult person, but like, we all have difficult people in our lives, and there's a reason why. Yeah. You know?
It's sort of like when you're trying to get people to, the way you say, like, wrapping some of these concepts in a very entertaining story, It's like when you put vegetables in cheese for a child.
Absolutely. It's
Like,
the exact, listen,
It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same.
It's exactly
If he had
the
eaten
same.
a little bit more broccoli, none of that would have happened. Yeah.
It's like when you make a sort of what seems like an ability to make people poo better with some sort of amazing drink from Spain.
Perhaps. Sí.
You know?
Tenemos los Aquarius. El sponsor del programa de hoy.
Do you remember those Activia yogurts that used to regulate you? Like, we're all just trying to put things in a package that makes us better, you know?
But that's so true of just like modern life. It's like, no, we want to do stuff that's good for us, but can you wrap it in something that is bad for us, but then there's something in it that's good for us, so it makes it okay on the whole?
I'm going to say that's how I feel about marathons. I think that marathons are, we all know, bad for us. No one should be running this much. But a little bit of running is great. And you know what?
A little bit of running is good. Also, I think I personally don't have a problem with marathons per se. If you want to set yourself like a physical fitness challenge of some kind, be it a marathon, I don't know, a bloody K-Batos or like, I don't know, a CrossFit thing, whatever, go for it. That's absolutely fine. I think it's when people do marathons and then say, I'm doing it for the benefit of other people because I'm running for charity or something. And it's like, there are so many other ways. There are so many other ways to help charity that don't involve you running 26 miles that way.
Do you know what? I think at this stage I could like raise more money by putting up a GoFundMe saying, I won't do the marathon. Give me money for this charity.
I'll stay perfectly still.
Actually, I will sit on my hole for 6 hours that it would take me to do the marathon if you give me money for this charity. And I think people at this stage would be happy to do it.
I think you should start the trend. Sponsored hole sitting.
And also, here's a theory of mine, okay? Because I've done the marathon twice, right? Humble brag. Both times were times in my life when I actually should have just been going to a therapist.
Sure.
And here's the thing. If you've got a friend, because I'm a chubby gal. If you've got a friend who out of nowhere hasn't really exercised before, is suddenly like, I want to do a marathon. That person's having a breakdown. Okay?
Oh.
And they need an intervention. They don't need a marathon. Because the marathon is 26.2 miles of trying to run away from their thoughts.
I ran a half marathon the year after my mum died. And I don't see how those two things are connected at all.
I swear to God. I
didn't even run a full marathon. I didn't care that much.
Can I just say sorry? I'm sorry, that's... Can I just say the 2 times I did the marathon was after when my cousin died.
Oh my God.
I want to know. I want to do it. I think there should be some sort of thing out there.
Wait, did your cousin die twice?
No. I had 2 cousins who died.
I was like, did a cousin die? And then you ran a marathon and they were like, you're not going to believe it. That worked. I'm fine now.
Imagine I was like, for fuck's sake, I can't be doing this again. But no, imagine I was like, no, his name was Jesus Christ and he actually rose again. And
someone should write about a book about that guy.
But I want to know how many people are doing the marathon and it's just after a death.
No, it will be so many, genuinely. The 2 things that you do after a loved one dies, you run a marathon, you dye your hair a weird colour.
Oh, yes.
So my hair was bright red when I ran that marathon.
Oh, fantastic. I'm sure that looked awful on you.
It really did. And it was really sad thinking about my mum as I was getting overtaken by a man in a giant tit costume because he was running for a breast cancer charity. And I was like, God, that's what she died from. And I didn't even put on a costume. I'm just wearing shorts and I'm chafing my hole off. Oh, God.
When I did it, right, my cousin died of CF. And this is now, listen, wasn't in a good headspace. But sometimes I'd see diseases on people's backs and I was like, here, that's not good enough for a marathon. Do you know what I mean? Do you know, like bee stings or something. And I'm like, come on now, lads.
Yeah.
Let's get a real disease up in here, you know?
A mild milk intolerance.
Constant diarrhea. And you're like, I have something for that.
Oh, if I ran it dressed as a giant can of Aquarius. Oh, dear. We gotta sum up feelings
Okay.
on the book and the trilogy and the films.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I will ask, when the films came out, I mean, it sounds like you enjoy the books more than the films because you reread the books, but do you also get into the films?
So I haven't seen the Swedish films yet.
Right.
But I have a podcast called The Jump, which is about adaptations. As you
Right.
can tell, I'm quite passionate about this stuff. And we're going to do the Swedish films next because, like, I obviously talk quite a bit about the book, but, like, the American one I think is brilliant and has one of the best uses of music, which, because you obviously haven't seen the film.
No.
But maybe Claire or whoever's in the room with you has. There is a scene where it's like near murder is happening, okay?
Okay.
And the killer picks a song. Enya, Sail Away. And I was like, can I just say, imagine someone put on Sail Away, Sail Away, and you knew you were about to be killed.
Yeah.
That's creepy, man.
That's what I think during a marathon. If you're listening to music whilst you're running the marathon, what if you have a heart attack and die, and then you're listening to, like, I don't know, Kim
River
Petras
Dance.
or something, or River Dance? Yeah.
My heart's going like the clappers to the same rhythm as the River Dance. They'd be like, she died for Ireland.
That's not one of the illnesses on the bib, is it? Acute Irishness.
Yeah, too Irish. Too Irish.
Oh dear.
Yeah. But honestly,
yeah.
and can I just say a little fun fact about that? 'Cause
Yeah.
that song, when they were filming it, they weren't going to use that song. They weren't going to use any song. And they were like, oh, I think actually we need a song for this. And Daniel Craig goes, I have the perfect song. Enya,
Of course it was
Sail
Daniel
Away.
Craig. Of course he
And I was
suggested it himself.
I was like, good for you, Daniel Craig. Good for you.
What a lovely creative choice that was.
Yeah.
Can I ask you sort of finally then, so when you do you sort of like your annual reread of the books, where does it take you emotionally? How does it make you feel?
I think it just, this is going to sound so corny, but it's just, I love reading like about, like, I don't know, things working out, like justice.
Right.
For
No,
things that go wrong.
absolutely, yeah.
And I just think it's because probably we live in a world where we're just feel so frustrated because we can't do any, like, you know, when you're just like, I feel so powerless.
Yes.
And what I love about these books is that the women do get a bit of justice.
Right.
And it's nice to see some of them be able to get control, and just even the characters. Like, I love reading about good men as well. Like, there are good men in these books.
Yes.
And I love that because it's like, I need something.
Yeah, not
At
much
the
of that
moment.
exists in the real world, so
Yeah,
someone has to
yeah.
write fiction about it so you can sort of process
Yeah.
what that might feel like if it were to ever happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To live in another world. That'd be great.
No,
Yeah.
there you go. Well, I mean, I feel like we could carry on talking about death-related marathons and the illnesses that they prevent, and the girl with the dragon tattoo for quite some time. But we're getting to the end of the episode, so I'm going to whisk us into the final segment, which is quickfire feelings.
Okay.
Now, quickfire feelings is where I've got 5 random things. I'm just going to say what they are, and you tell me how they make you feel. You just off the top of your head, you can say as little or as much as you like, but just how they make you feel. Are you ready?
Yes, go.
Okay. How do you feel about dark chocolate?
Hate.
Hate. It's rare someone fully just goes hate, but
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know what? I've been around the block, okay? I hate it.
Yeah?
No, unnecessary.
okay,
Unnecessary.
fair enough.
Yeah.
And honestly, I have to be nice to everyone on the pod. I completely agree with you. How do you feel about GPS?
Love.
Love bit
Love.
GPS.
Do you know, I mean, like GPS, do you mean like old fashioned or just like, I mean, GPS like Google Maps, you know, for me.
Or GPS is in like the global positioning system.
Yeah, love it. Here's the thing. I know, listen, I understand my rights are being eroded by multiple governments all the time. At the same time, I do love knowing, you know, the quickest route to somewhere. So,
Yeah.
you know, potato. I would love, though, Google Maps to stop trying to get me murdered by being like, hey, would you like to shave off 30 seconds on your walk by going through the darkest woods you've ever seen in your life? And I'm like,
Yes.
no, it's actually all right. I think I'll go around. Thanks a million. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How do you feel about when they come over to your table at an Italian restaurant and shave the cheese onto your dish for you?
Love.
Yeah?
Actually, no, mixed feelings because I always want more and I never know how to ask.
What if they just like gone through an entire block and you're like, can I just get a little bit more?
Yeah, I just feel like it's always quite I feel like because Italians are quite attractive, it's always quite an attractive man coming over and I don't want to be like, more. Like, I'm just like, oh, the lightest bit, that's fine. And actually I would put more on myself, you know.
Fair enough. I understand. How do you feel about a whimsical wind chime?
No, and the reason why is, again, I've seen too many murder films. And there's always a wind chime before a murder. Or always a wind chime before a big tornado or something. Yeah, no.
I see your point, yes. Finally, how do you feel about cruising, parentheses, holidaying, not what gay men do?
I hate it. Sorry if there's people who go on cruises, but I haven't done it.
Right.
But I just hate the look of them. Yeah.
Do you get seasick?
I think everyone gets seasick. I don't mind the seasickness. I actually think it's like, I don't know, there's something about them that like, I love watching the TikToks about them. Do you ever watch the TikToks about like a cruise line worker?
Yes, or someone
like
just showing you what the cabin is like. Here's what the pool is. Here's what all of the restaurants serve.
Yeah, I'll watch it for days. But I'm like, surely the food can't be that good. It's so mass produced. And then I'm just like, and then you're kind of just stuck on this ship with people. And I just don't know. There's something about it where
and
I
then
just
you
think
think, oh God, if we're out at sea and somebody dies... Like,
and someone always dies.
And then there's not enough space to run a whole marathon. So what are you going to do?
I'm running around the deck like an idiot.
A couple more laps will fix it.
Just that poor woman. She's really going through it. She hasn't stopped since he died.
It's what he would have wanted. No. Fair enough. Well, with that, we come to the end of the episode. Grace, it's been lovely having you here. Have you enjoyed yourself?
Thank you. I had such a good time. Talking about death and marathons.
Me too.
Right up my alley.
Loved it.
Right up my alley.
Before we let you go, is there anything that you'd like to plug for our listeners? What are you up to? Where can they find you?
So this is going to sound like I've made it up, but actually my Edinburgh show, which I'm doing from July 30th to the 25th of August, is called Did You Hear We're All Going to Die? And so listen, if you loved the vibes of this conversation, you're going to love my show, okay? It's a stand-up comedy show. It's on at the Assembly, the Crate, at like 10 to 3 every day. So that's what I have going on.
Lovely.
And my Instagram is Grace Mulvey Comedy, so...
Gorgeous. Definitely go follow Grace.
Yeah.
And hey, if you'd like to see a show that I don't think is about death, you can come see my show. It's called You're Joking, Not Another One. I'll also be at the Edinburgh Fringe every day at Monkey Barrel Comedy at 1:35.
Oh my God. I'll have time. I'll have just enough time to come see your show.
We'd be a back-to-back job.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm 10 to 3. You'd be finished at like 2:30. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be able to come see yours, though.
I'd zip over. I'll call it my training for the marathon. Just dashing over. Lovely. You can follow the podcast at I've Had a Rosé for clips and links to all of the bonus content. And we'll see you again for another episode next week. Bye-bye, everyone.